Você que está ouvindo esse podcast, o que acha de uma empresa que sempre trabalha para trazer impacto positivo? Assim é o Google. Como? A Duda da Orbe é um exemplo disso. Ela usa a inteligência artificial para ajudar pessoas a recuperarem seus movimentos. É a tecnologia mais útil na vida das pessoas. E tem o Jefferson da Tributei, que usa inteligência artificial para facilitar o dia a dia das empresas. Eles e milhares de empreendedores geraram mais de 188 bilhões com as plataformas do Google. Tem que ser bom para todo mundo.
Last week on Ghost Hampton. Before leaving the diner, Matteo tells Lyle he is leaving for Malta very soon. Then Noah comes, drives Lyle back to Montauk. Lyle tells him he thinks Police Chief Quealy is an owner of Old Vic and ordered Georgie's harassment. Lyle also describes his horrific vision, Georgie's tombstone. Also, the barn, now Noah's, is possessed and must be razed.
Lyle's motel room. Moments later. There's a sharp rap on Lyle's door and he turns the knob. His delivery of the destructive element, a bottle of Dewar's.
Mr. Rooney!
Lyle almost has an uncontrolled bowel movement. He instinctively steps back as Silk strides into his room and slams the door. She looks incredible in a satiny black jogging suit, her hairdo slightly disheveled, enough to make Lyle flash on what she might have been doing prior to this visit. She's wearing casual espadrilles now, but not too casual. They're black and have heels. She stops as Lyle backs up and stands with her hands on her hips. Silk is pissed off, like most women in Lyle's life, even the dead ones.
Either you never read your contract, or you're out of your mind.
How about both?
I highlighted the salient text to focus your mind.
Saw that. Pink. My color.
You need to understand, you cannot sign that document and then renege once we get everything set up. And I do mean everything.
Lyle feels he's struck by a rare moment of clarity.
This is not what I signed on for, Silk.
It's exactly what you signed on for, Lyle. Being a drunken slob on camera is not part of the deal. Not showing up for live television shoots, also not part of the deal. And mooning over me on camera like an adolescent is not part of the deal.
I reacted like most of your fans.
You're not most of my fans. You're not 12. You're supposed to be a trustworthy witness to paranormal events.
Lyle can see how worked up Silk is becoming. Since Flo first showed him Silk's glossy photo, he could only dream of being alone with her in a cheap motel room. But this is so not that.
Well, circumstances have changed.
They've changed in that we, and that includes you, are on the verge of becoming international stars, Lyle. The magic is working. Read the contract, and it envisions exactly what we are doing.
Silk, my daughter is a cop. She's being sexually harassed at work. Because of me. Because of all this stuff.
Silk rolls her eyes.
There's nothing about collateral damage in the agreement you signed.
My daughter is a human being, not collateral. She does dangerous work. The level of internal stress she's now under is unwarranted and could lead to a terrible outcome.
Your daughter is a big girl. A woman with a gun. Don't tell me you fear she'll be harassed to death.
Things happen in her line of work. Someone, somewhere, wants me to stop calling attention to Old Vic and wants to get to me by punishing my daughter.
Silk is not buying it, but thinks for a moment.
If there is such a person, or persons, it's our duty as reporters to identify them and even get them on camera.
I am not a fucking reporter, Silk!
You are not a contract reader, Lyle. Even when I highlight it in pink, we report our discoveries on our broadcasts. That's what this is. Unless, of course, there is no threat from your unknown harassers. And you just made that up.
I did not just make that up.
Now Lyle crosses his arms.
So, what are you planning to do about Flo's death? Did you already replace her?
We'll be covering the tragic loss of Flo tonight. What did you think? And you, Lyle, will be describing her last moments, firsthand to our millions of viewers.
Oh, great. Like I'm your trained monkey.
Like you're a professional who honors his agreements. Then we plan to have Matteo come on camera and talk with us.
Lyle's jaw drops.
Matteo? On TV?
Moving to the door without comment, Silk grabs the handle, looks back at Lyle.
We report to the set at 4 p.m. Sharp.
Lyle stares back at Silk, unable to process everything going on. She opens the door.
Chilton Gregg is coming in for the shoot. With his lawyers.
Stepping out of Lyle's room, she utters a last comment.
Just so you know.
Lyle exhales. He realizes he's shaking. He walks to the room's window and watches Silk disappear into her room. Then he turns to his TV and News 12. More coverage of the haunted house.
Matteo Sherry. And a veiled threat now, too. Chatsworth Osborne Jr.
Suddenly, there's another sharp rap on his door. Lyle strides to the door and flings it open.
You can tell that Chatsworth Osborne guy.
It's Rooney. He has a full bottle of Lyle's nemesis in hand and offers it, a nervous grin on his face.
Just what the doctor ordered, Mr. Hall.
Oh, right. Sorry, Mr. Rooney. Thought you were somebody else.
Lyle takes the bottle.
Remember, sir, that's only a loan.
Of course. I'll take care of this back in the tap room.
Rooney turns to go.
Yes, sir. Going to be a big TV shoot coming up. See you then.
Closing his door, Lyle responds feebly.
Yeah, then.
Lyle grabs a motel room plastic cup and plops it in front of the old TV on the only chair. There's another blonde reporter, this one standing outside Our Lady of Poland Church in Southampton, where Matteo works. An image appears over the shoulder. Matteo in his priestly collar looking like a cross between Jake Gyllenhaal and Montgomery Clift. She wraps her segment and a new blonde reporter introduces her own interview subjects. Shown standing in front of Old Vic, meet Becky Tuttle and Noah Craig, recent winners in the Old Vic court case. Lyle cracks the scotch bottle's cap and pours.
Oh, jeez. My old friends, Noah and Becky.
Lyle takes a snort of scotch from his plastic cup, and his room phone rings.
Mr. Hall, there's a gentleman caller here to see you.
A what?
He's a young man, a man of the cloth.
He what?
A priest, Mr. Hall, sitting right here before me in my bar.
Be right there.
Interior, the tap room, moments later. Matteo Sherry and Mr. Rooney look up as Lyle enters the bar. Lyle's spirit has sunk to a dark place. There is busy work underway on the makeshift set for the big TV interview coming up. More technicians, more lighting, more cameras, more laptops. Lyle spots Josh amid it all, and the two men ignore each other. Instead, Lyle, already some scotch in him, takes a stool next to Matteo and squeezes his shoulder as the priest greets him. Rooney pours Lyle his drink of choice, and Lyle responds with a wad of $20 bills. Rooney picks up the cash.
For what I owe you.
Matteo says nothing about the money, but does pick up on Lyle's inner turmoil.
So, what brings you all the way out here to the end, Father? Aren't you bound for Malta soon, or Gozo? Is that Toyota outside or the poor schnook driver you ride?
Matteo is deep in his own thoughts as he takes a folded sheet of copy paper from his pocket and hands it to Lyle.
My schnook driver is not a poor man. Lyle, Sergeant Barsati asked me to pass this on to you.
What is it? Evidence?
It's a note from Glenn Stanley. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Addressed to you, Sergeant...
It's Big Frank, Matteo. Or just Frank. My daughter's secret boyfriend.
Well, he made this photocopy for you as a consideration.
Why do I need a note from an old dead guy now?
We felt it might lift your spirits.
Lyle swigs his scotch and unfolds the note. He can hear Glenn Stanley's voice as he reads.
Dear Lyle, thank you for accepting us ragtag campers into your life. We're genuinely excited about your contact with Jewel. I've visited haunted houses before, but yours is sure a doozy. I believe something good will come of it. I know you are feeling a lot of pressure, and that's why you get a little touchy. But we hope for the best for you and for Jewel. I know a good man when I see one, and like they say, Lyle is fine. I hope you have good times to come with your own daughter. Maeve and I sure enjoyed our time with ours. Yours truly, Glenn Stanley. P.S. Hoping you will find your way to introduce me and my friend Herb to Jewel. It sure would be an exciting way to cap off a long life.
Lyle puts the paper down on the bar and pushes it away. He looks at Matteo.
Glenn had a wife and daughter, too.
The last words of a man about to die on my porch.
We could say he died doing something he loved.
Yeah. Men in your line of work try to put a smiley face on a guy's death, so his family doesn't give up on religion.
It is very easy to give up religion these days. But sometimes a person lives a long, fulfilling life, and then God simply calls him. You know, family is more important than many men realize, until it's too late.
Lyle shrugs. He's being proselytized. He swigs his drink and beckons Rooney.
Mr. Rooney, a fresh one for Father Sherry, please.
No, I am good.
Rooney peers at Matteo's glass.
No Coke?
A Coke? Mr. Rooney, a cognac for my man here. The good stuff. He's going on a transatlantic flight.
Matteo protests as Rooney pours Remy Martin into a snifter.
Now you're good, Father.
Come on, Matteo. One for the road and all that.
Despite Matteo's misgivings, the two men clink and drink. But Matteo seems reserved, as if brooding.
So, Father, it's back in the chain gang at Malta. Gozo.
Matteo takes a second swig and knits his brow.
I find it increasingly difficult to bring the word of God to people these days.
He looks at both men.
There is a battle raging deep inside every person's soul, just as there once was a battle long ago in heaven. Lucifer versus Michael. Michael won that one. Then good faced evil in the Garden of Eden, and evil won. Today, that force is still trying to pull us down.
Rooney screws up his face. Matteo looks at Lyle, hoping for a sign of recognition.
It is ironic. The one thing we learned from the Tree of Knowledge is how stupid we are.
Lyle looks at Rooney and gestures at his empty glass. Rooney refills it. Matteo looks up at the television playing News 12.
You're in a tough business, Matteo.
Lyle follows Matteo's gaze, and there again is Noah Craig.
Your friend?
Yeah, since boyhood. We've been at odds for years, though. Him saving barns, me buying them so they could be torn down.
But things have changed, no?
I flipped the script. I suddenly tried to save old Vic and its old barn. I was possessed with a ghost girl, and the possibility of losing my only child.
Which the ghost girl indicated you would.
Why would she lie?
Because a demon can only lie. We do not know who or what was really communicating to you, but there is something inside that house.
And that barn. Something even worse went on there.
Lyle takes some more of his drink and searches Matteo's eyes.
Don't you believe you liberated some captive spirits from old Vic?
Yes, I believe it's most likely.
But a demon?
No.
Glancing nervously over his shoulder, he sees Silk enter the interview set. He lowers his voice.
Lyle, I have no such power to cleanse a building as unclean as that one.
Well, you cleansed something, and you probably saved my life. So, I owe you.
Lyle lifts his glass to clink with Matteo, but he doesn't respond.
I must tell you, my flight to Rome is tonight. My ride from a kindly parishioner is to the international airport.
Matteo looks again at the interview set. Silk has eyes on him. He rises from his bar stool.
I must go. Now. Thank you for being my friend.
Matteo takes Lyle's hand.
I think you are a good man, Lyle Hall. No matter what they say.
Lyle stifles a laugh and squeezes Matteo's shoulder.
Thank you for being my friend, Matteo. I mean that. And I will see you again.
I hope you are right, Lyle.
Matteo glances sideways again. Silk is headed toward him, along with Chad holding a clipboard. Matteo breaks from Lyle's grip.
I will pray for you, Lyle. And I will look up, flip the script.
Matteo exits quickly before Silk and Chad reach the bar. Lyle meets her gaze. She's again wearing a white doily around her neck, sprinkled with cosmetics.
Your priest friend. Where's he going?
Out for a cigarette. Be back in a minute. Why?
Silk addresses Chad.
Don't believe him. Chad, go out and bring him here. Now.
Chad hustles out the taproom's door. Silk levels her gaze at Lyle.
Got a thing for priests now.
The public has a thing for that priest. We've already promised him on air, with me, and soon.
That'll be good television.
So you have no idea what's going on with the viewing public, with social media. You let him go, just like that.
Priests are in my contract now, too?
Chad comes back in the taproom.
He's gone. Got in a waiting car.
This is your fault, Lyle. Now I'm stuck with you.
Lyle takes a swig of scotch. Silk makes a frustrated growl and turns to the production crew shouting orders. She stalks onto the set, Chad following. Lyle turns, winks at Rudy, and drinks some more scotch while watching Noah and Becky Tuttle talk to the News 12 reporter. Then it dawns on him. It's not live footage. It's from this morning. Lyle takes out his phone and dials Noah.
Electricast.